Hey you guys, it's Victoria again. So I'm coming at you today to talk about a really important video. It's all about toxic habits that people have in society right now. But firstly, I wanted to say Happy Easter. I hope that you guys have a wonderful Easter today. And if you're not watching this on Easter, I hope you had a wonderful Easter. Easter is a beautiful holiday with the real meaning that we know is behind it. I love springtime and I'm ready to enjoy my beautiful Easter and have my events of the day. But first I wanted to do this video. So number one of a toxic habit that people have is dairy consumption. I know that many of you watching this are vegans, raw vegans, or you're kind of in the know about why dairy consumption is just inexplicable. But if you're not in the know about why dairy consumption is so bad, let me try to fill you in. So I have a few notes here because all of these are very detailed and I didn't want to miss out anything. First of all, and I've said this before in my Why Dairy is Bad for You video, I will link it down below. That's a really important video to watch to understand why we don't need dairy to live. And we've been told since a young age by our pediatricians even that we need dairy milk to live, to build strong teeth and healthy bones, okay? So like I was saying, milk is for calves and we're humans. What does that mean? What does it mean when humans drink a milk that is made for a calf? Well, calf milk is made because the calf is going to grow 4 to 5 times its size in a very short period of time. And we know that humans don't grow that big. So the cow's milk has just way too much animal protein, and you know, even after a young age, we lose the lactose enzyme to be able to digest milk. So if we're consuming this after we're weaned off, it's just horrible. We're the only species that drinks milk from another species, and it just doesn't make sense. And we see so many sicknesses and diseases and ear infections and colds because cow's milk is so mucus forming, and we all wonder why. And then we take medicines to cover up the symptom and not get to the real cause of the problem. So cow's milk is meant for a calf. It's detrimental to us when we drink it. And if all of that wasn't enough, then they pasteurize it. So they kill its enzymes, they make it even more acidic to us than it already is because cow's milk is extremely acidic. And because it's so acidic, our body steals alkaline minerals like calcium from our bones. And so that's why we have such an epidemic of osteoporosis, because it is so acid forming. So then they pasteurize it, and that basically changes its molecular structure to make it like plastic. And I've heard Dr. Robert Morse talk about this. You know, he said quotes like, "Stay away from cow's milk because it's pretty much plastic." So the cow's milk isn't meant for humans anyway, and then they pasteurize it, which is even worse, and then they ferment it and call it yogurt and cheese. And as we know, or some of you might not know this, but fungus in our body can grow when we are eating these fermented foods. And another fermented food that isn't a dairy is bread. And so if you crave bread, then you probably have a proliferation of fungus in your body. And you can get that out by detoxing and cleansing yourself. Fermented foods are horrible, and what's funny is that so many people think that yogurt is good for you. Well, no, it is not. Let me tell you right now, it is one of the worst things that you can eat. All dairy products, if you're going to cut out one, dairy, meat, or grains, I would cut out dairy first and foremost. It is absolutely dreadful. So dairy is just extremely irritating to our body, to the whole body. It clogs the lymphatic system more than anything. So if you've drinking a lot of dairy milk in your life, it's going to make detoxing harder because it clogs the lymphatic system so bad. It's just so mucus forming. One thing, I heard Tanny Raw talk about this the other day. She was creating banana milk, which I love, but she was talking about cow's milk and saying that there's so many bovine secretions in it and so much pus and mucus from the cow that if you've ever drinking milk or eaten cereal, you have the little crusties on the side of your mouth and it coats this entire, it coats everything. It's just disgusting. It's full of pus. I've heard statistics that milk can be up to like 17% pus. So I talked about this film that you can get in the back of your throat. Well, you can also get that from anything sticky like Kool-Aid or anything gross like that candy. When you feel that film in the back of your mouth, all the way down to your throat, on the sides of your mouth, well, guess what? It doesn't stop there. It coats every single thing it touches in your body. So all of these foods are mucus forming, but dairy is number one. So cut out the dairy if you can, because it is toxic, it's acidic, and none of us want osteoporosis, do we? Number two is the consumption of meat. So right now I'm just gonna hammer these off one by one. This will be a great video to show to your friends and family, okay? Consumption of meat. No way, don't do it. So animal protein is extremely hard on the kidneys and the colon, okay? But it will break down the kidneys over time because the animal protein is just so hard for the body to break down. Meat is also acid forming as well. Remember, we want to eat alkaline forming foods in our body because our body is an alkaline medium. It needs to be alkaline, but people are eating so many acid-forming foods these days that it's just creating all of these disease states in our body. So the blood has to be alkaline. Anyone walking around right now, their blood is alkaline because if your blood goes acidic, you die within minutes. But the lymphatic system can be acidic. So you just always want to eat alkaline foods, like fruits and vegetables. And meat is acidic. I feel so bad for these bodybuilders and athletes that are just hammering down all of the animal protein and protein this and protein that. I just feel bad for what they're going to go through later in life or, you know, very quickly in life. Because if you lose your kidneys, you lose everything because the kidneys are the only organs that filter the lymphatic system. High protein diets is not good for you. I don't know what kind of propaganda everyone has been told from birth until death that they need protein, protein, protein. But protein is not what you want, okay? That's the least thing you want because when you eat a plant-based diet, you're gonna get all the protein you need, but it's the animal protein that is detrimental to the body. Plant protein is wonderful. Animal protein, bad, okay? Don't even get me started on parasites that come in meat and fish. Well, let me get started on parasites. Why don't I? So, okay, you get these parasites, these worms, these flukes in meat and fish, especially in raw meat like sushi. So many people have just trips over sushi that they love it, and it's disgusting. Since our body is not meant, it's not designed for meat, our intestines are extremely long. True carnivores have short intestines so that they can push out this raw putrefying flesh and get it out of them. But humans have a very long GI tract, so it's really, really hard to release this meat. So therefore, it stays in our GI tracts for days. It can even take up to a week to get rid of this meat from our body. And a lot of it you don't even get rid of it. It stays there in the nooks and crannies of the GI tract, causing disease and etc. So since the meat is not designed for human consumption, it makes sense that we need to bring in these parasites, these worms, etc., to eat it for us because our body's not going to digest it. It just putrefies. Some of these parasites can even be microscopic, by the way. Don't think that they're all going to be, you know, these big weird worms. Some of them are. And a lot of people think that these parasitic infestations in your body is only a third world country issue. No, it's not. You can drive a Benz and still have parasites in you. They don't discriminate, okay? If you have eaten meat and fish, you got some parasites. They come in to help you digest the meat. And so when you crave meat, a lot of people crave meat, it could be the parasites craving it because they want their food. So that's why I love parasite cleanses and colonics because you can get rid of these parasites and you can actually see them in your stools that you're getting rid of them. So parasites are no good. Another reason why people crave meat often is because meat has neurotransmitters in it. Okay, and so at the end of an animal's life, they were under extreme fear, extreme pain, anguish, anxiety, and it makes them release more neurotransmitters. So when we eat them, that's why you get a stimulating effect from meat, but it's not real energy. It's fake energy, just like coffee. Coffee doesn't give you real energy, it's fake energy that masks the real tired that you are from your adrenal exhaustion. But, so it's just meat just creates a stimulating effect. What this can do over time, because of the neurotransmitters in it, it can shut down your adrenal glands. And we don't want that. It's not worth it to eat meat for it to ruin your adrenal glands, because your adrenal glands are just like your kidneys. They sit right on top of the kidneys and they are everything. It is like a domino effect when they are fatigued. So many issues are related back to the adrenal glands and their exhaustion. And it really upsets me when I see people that I know have adrenal exhaustion. They're addicted to coffee, they're addicted to energy drinks, and it's just horrible. But back to meat. I could just go on and on. I'm so passionate about all of this. But back to meat. Meat is also filled with growth hormones, all kinds of chemicals that I don't even know all of them. I know one of them is meat glue. They take all the scraps and put this special meat glue in it to make it go back as one, and they sell it to you like it's this special cut of meat. It's disgusting. There's also hormones that are loaded into meat. All of these things mess with the body. They're not supposed to be there. And so when we ingest them, it just creates all of these problems. As soon as you eat meat, it starts putrefying and fermenting in our 98.6 degree body. It just sits there causing disease, and it ruins the colon. And it not only clogs up the colon itself, which is easy to get rid of when you start detoxing, but you see, you have a colon wall, and it ruins the integrity of the cells of the colon wall itself. So I would just advise you to stop eating meat today. And all you have to do is go watch the documentary Earthlings. And you can be a carnivore 1 minute and the next minute stop eating all animal products if you see that documentary. Plus there's millions of others, but Earthlings is one that you really need to see. So I would just really advise you to stop eating the meat. So that was number 2. Number 3, I hope you guys are still listening, is processed foods. Now, we live in a society right now that is absolutely so dependent on processed foods. It's to the point where you walk in a conventional grocery store or any grocery store, and what do you see? You see boxes, cans, bags. It's all processed food. It's not real food. There's no enzymes in these things. There's no fiber. It's all dead. Do you want living food or dead food? Processed food is dead food. You go into a grocery store and there's only one little produce section, and in 90% of grocery stores it's all inorganic, so it's been sprayed with pesticides. It's not as nutritionally dense as organic produce, and so everything is just backwards. People right now tend to only get produce for specific recipes that are full of other horrible ingredients, and then they cook it to death. So it's just really funny how society is right now. I've had so many comments from grocery store checkers about all the produce I buy. I put this on my blog the other day, but the other day I was getting bananas, and I think I was only buying 3 bunches of bananas, so it wasn't that much to me. And the lady, she was a sweet lady, so it's nothing against her, but she said, "Are you feeding your pet monkey?" And I paused and I said, "Well, no, I'm the monkey." It's just funny because people aren't used to seeing people buy big amounts of produce. They're used to seeing people buy big amounts of meat and dairy. Isn't that telling of our society right now? And another thing, if you eat McDonald's all day and you're overweight and you're sick and gross, people just walk right past it. It's no big deal. But if you start going raw vegan, for example, and you start getting healthy and vibrant and happy, people start questioning you and being concerned. So it's just very odd. Back to processed food, we simply need to remove all of the processed food from our diet. Replace it with produce, fruits and vegetables, real food, and you will see your health skyrocket. You know, we see it as fine. For another example is to see a child snacking on processed food like Cheerios. That's just a typical example in our society. And when I see that, I cringe, but most people walk by it and think it's normal. But how is it normal to feed your child a dead food that has no nutrition and isn't going to help them thrive? It's only going to hurt them. So why not replace their Cheerios with a bag of strawberries, anything else than processed food? What I'm going to do is I'm going to include cooked food under this tagline of processed food. So people cook their food to death as well. No other species in nature cooks their food. You don't see tigers walking around with a frying pan to cook their food. No other species have the diseases that humans do except our domesticated pets like cats and dogs who also eat cooked food, okay? When you cook things, you kill it basically, and cooking destroys the enzymes, the nutrients, and it changes the chemistry of it. It changes the molecular structure of the food. So it rearranges it and it makes it foreign to the body. It also makes the food acidic to us. And like I talked about before, we want alkaline, alkaline, alkaline. Go for a week or a month and go raw vegan and see how vibrant you feel. And then go back to eating your cooked dead food and you'll be like, what? I'm never doing that again. Because once you see how wonderful you can feel, you'll never want to go back, because why would you? No food is worth having to walk around being asleep. So many people are awake, but yet they're asleep. And I'm awake. I want to get there, go out there, do stuff, and live my life and not be dead from these processed foods and these dead foods that I'm eating. Because you are what you eat. So that was number 3. Number 4 is alcohol, drugs, and cigarettes. I understand that people use alcohol as an excuse to have fun all the time, okay? And yay for them, but what they're doing is they're really numbing themselves. And they're numbing themselves from their problems and the fact that they really can't have fun without alcohol. And I myself, I want to be alive every second of the day. Okay, I don't ever want to have to numb my mind to be able to function or to be able to have fun. I want to have the most sober, clear mind that I can have. And I get that with raw foods. And I also get that by not consuming any alcohol ever. Zip, zero. And you can too. It's not some fantasy that you can give up alcohol. People don't care. They're not going to look at you weird. If you can still go to a party and not drink alcohol, it doesn't matter. People only care about themselves. You'll figure that out really quickly in life. So if you give up alcohol, who gives a hoot? Okay, you're only helping your health, because alcohol is never good for you. I don't know what kind of propaganda there is out there that red wine is good for you twice a week. No, it's not. It kills brain cells. It makes you dumb. Rum dumb, okay? There's a reason why they call it that. Alcohol makes you stupid. And it's just not good for you. It's poison. It poisons every organ in the body, and especially the liver. So just cut it out. Take it out of your life. Alcohol is also a depressant to the mind. So you're drinking to kind of get away from your problems for a little bit or to have fun. But as soon as you sober up, all your problems are still there, and they're probably worse because you took the time to drink your alcohol instead of trying to fix your problems or make them better. And then on to drugs and cigarettes. I really don't need to say much about them because we all know as a society that drugs and cigarettes are horrible for the body. So just cut that out too. Go cold turkey. You know, I've never been addicted to cigarettes or drugs, so I really don't know. But I would say as soon as you can to give those up because they're horrible. And I wish that everyone could get off of these horrible things because their life and their health is so important. Every single one of you watching, your health is important. And it's important to so many people. Some of you might have children. It's just so essential to be healthy. So get off the alcohol, drugs, and the cigarettes. That's it. Those are only 4 things that I wanted to talk about today. I know that this video is a little bit intense. I'm just so passionate about all these things, and I really want to give them to you in a straightforward manner. And I don't want to sugarcoat anything. Really hope that this video helped you, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful Easter, and I will see you soon. Bye. Now, there's no need to eat any of that nasty candy for Easter. Just act like a real rabbit and have a carrot.